You are the Senior Vice President of Energy Policies and Climate Change at Iberdrola, that everyone knows in Spain, the multinational power utility that started deep decarbonization a long time ago already, a few years ago, let's say. So Carlos, I'd like you to reflect on the previous presentations, but from the perspective of internal corporate metrics. I'm interested to understand what metrics at Iberdrola you're using, what incentive structures, what remuneration schemes you have been using to produce this consensual shift within Iberdrola to shift towards decarbonization. As we know, it's not, it's easily said, not easily done. And how challenging was this effort, and to what extent you have advice for other companies that haven't been that ambitious so far?
Well, thank you, Perrin. Buenos días a todos. Es un placer siempre estar en esta que fue mi casa durante muchos años y bueno, a partir de ahora me paso a mi macarrónico inglés y vais a sufrir todos, pero bueno. Well, how we arrived to the situation that we have already in Iberdrola? What are the KPIs that we have used? Well, I have to say that we have an analysis, that's a strategic analysis concerning decarbonization 20 years ago. And once we make this analysis, we internalize that in our strategic plan and the strategic investment that we made. And then we apply the KPIs to those strategic plans. We started transition 20 years ago. For us, it's not a new concept like you can hear in these moments. I always use the phrase of Seneca that says that who doesn't know where to go will arrive to other place, you know? In our case, we think that we have to analyze very well all the disruptions that we are suffering in the last years, and mainly in the recent years. And so we have to have a goal, a common line to arrive to the decarbonization of the economy. Well, we analyzed mega trends that had changed during the last year, but 20 years ago, we analyzed the mega trend that was launched by the Kyoto Protocol about decarbonization. Well, we started closing our oil and coal plants. We displaced this technology with gas as a transitionary energy and with a lot of renewables as the main driver for the long term. We make a lot of innovation, and we invest 100 billion euros in renewables, hydropumping, and networks. In those days, some competitors told or refer about us in a joking way, saying that we was the company of the small mills, you know. So, and those competitors are now very small compared with us. In the past was giants compared with us, and they have not made this analysis, a strategic analysis of the disruption that comes in the next years. Well, where we are now? Well, we have a lot of mistakes and things to develop and to improve, but let me show the positive ones. In this moment, we have no coal and no oil. All the closures has been made in a peaceful way, with a lot of conversation with unions and governments. We have more than 30 gigawatts of renewables. That is a huge amount. Is compared with the installed capacity of countries. We have more in renewables than the installed capacity of all the countries in Africa, except two, Egypt and South Africa, and all of the South American countries, except Venezuela and Argentina. So it's a huge amount of renewables. We have multiplied our assets in 20 years by 6, our workforce by 4. We are currently 34,000 employees in all the world, with indirect jobs that has created for more than 420,000 jobs. We are leading the green financing mechanisms, and In 2015, we launched commitment for 2020, 2030, and 2050. It's important not only to focus on 2050 because all the managers will not be there when we fail in these commitments. For that reason, we launched short-term commitments, and because if we fail, all the managers that has been launched, the strategic plans, will be there in order to respond to the question and to be blamed for not fulfilling that. Well, in this transition, in these 20 years, we have passed from being the 20th company in market capitalization to be currently the 4th in the world. So with this, we have a new narrative that is launched not only by us, but also by United Nations, for instance. We demonstrate that the green economy creates jobs and economic growth. It's good for planet, for citizens, but also for shareholders. That is, in our cases, that is a clear issue. This narrative is important compared with the others that are presented by deniers or delayers that are saying that the decarbonization destroys jobs or destroys the economy. We help the governments to demonstrate that it's good for the decarbonization for the economy. And this is against the alternative pressure that they receive when they want to be ambitious or make urgent actions for the decarbonization. Well, and what is the future? The future, we keep on analyzing mega trends, all of them, the society, the youth, the capital markets, the technology evolution, all of them, the CO2 markets, the air quality that is not climate change, but has the same sources of production of the problem and has the same solutions. All of them are making the pressure in the same direction. We need the decarbonization of the economy. And those that don't decarbonize their strategic plans will disappear in the future. So this is real. We demonstrate that we believe in that mega trends, and we are investing for the next 2 years 34 billion euros in the green economy. For us, we don't need a revolution because we have an evolution. So we don't need impacting announcement like the one that some competitors or some other companies are presenting in the COPs. We have a constant evolution of these strategic plans. But we welcome that announcement because we need everybody in the same direction because as the scientists are saying, we have exponential problems created by the climate change. So we need exponential solutions, and these solutions only can be applied if we go in alliances with everybody looking in the same direction. Concerning the topic of today, let me share you some issues about the metrics to develop. It has to put pressure on those that have started now to act. So doing nothing in the last year when the problem of climate change was already known. So it's important to take into account this track record. Also to take into account that some have announced action in 2050 and not for the short term, allowing to the greenwashing, because these announcements are very easy to put because all the managers will not be there, as I told you before. We have to act now. So we need the focus on 2050, but we need also to act in 2020. Also, we have to take into account not present any track record fulfilling commitments when you announce something. Well, we have a track record of 20 years that we have announced that, and we fulfill that when the milestone arrives. Also, we have to take into consideration those companies that has or countries that has not in favor of those governments that are in pro of the decarbonization, attacking them. You know, we can see that in the last months. Are people that are attacking the government proposal for the decarbonization of the economy, and also have to take into account those that not make any pressure on governments that are not focusing on the decarbonization. So I think that these intangible issues in the metrics are relevant, because if not, we can put in the metric things that are confusing people concerning the current proposals that are made by the different companies. Well, this is a challenge for the researchers. Well, as a conclusion, I have to say that metrics has to allow to put away those deniers and delayers that are in those moments, but also make pressure in order to attract them to the action, you know? So, welcome all this work that you are doing. And the last seconds, I would like to emphasize the same thing that Leire has told. Chile and Spain has to be congratulated because of organizing a COP in only one month. And I remind Costa Rica pre-COP motto that was a sort of, they said, who said it was impossible concerning the decarbonization of the economy? But this applies also for the organization of a COP in only 1 month. And I would like to, I feel proud of that. And I also feel proud if we achieve a very big challenge that is the decarbonization of the economy in the short term. Thank you very much.